This is a fix for if your vibration stopped working, and we're going to go ahead and check everything. So the first thing you'll do is hit your start menu button in the bottom left corner of your keyboard. This pops up the menu, you'll see sound options here. If you don't see it, just after opening the menu here, just start typing sound options and it'll pop up. Click on that and we're going to scroll down to the vibration channel, vibration sound card. Right click it and it'll drop out this submenu. Click configure speakers. And the most common issue here is Windows updates will change this sound card to a stereo channel card, just 2 speakers, but we have 4 vibration pucks going on. And so when the vibration program sees that this card is now 2 channels, it just gets confused and switches off vibration entirely. So make sure this is quadraphonic. You can test it if you like. And if you can hear that volume, that's coming out of the vibration pucks, which they're designed to produce vibration, or tactile feedback, but they'll still produce some sound. Don't recommend using them for gameplay like audio. Anyway, click next, get through that, and now this side is done, so we know that the vibration's good. So now you're going to open your start menu, click on SimHub, and SimHub will probably just open like this. We're going to close SimHub by hitting the X. That shuts the program down completely. Ordinarily, when we're using SimHub, we don't do that because hitting the X shuts it down completely, but we need to shut it down so that when we hit the start menu and start it back up again, it can now see that the vibration card is a 4-channel card. And if SimHub doesn't pop up right away, hit the start menu and hit it again. That's because it opens minimized in our system tray anyway, so we don't see it most of the time, but if you hit it twice, it'll pop up. And now when we go to Shake It Bass Shakers, and over to sound output, this might be turned off because of the issue you might have had. So check that there's a green tab here that it's enabled. If you click in the space, it'll drop down and you can click test now on each vibration puck and it just confirms that it works. You might want to do a little volume balancing between front and rear just because your butt might feel the front ones or the rear ones more than, or vice versa. So you can balance them out a little bit. It's not too important. And then just click back to effects profile. Make sure you've got these effects enabled. There's a lot of channels here and they all sound really cool, but they don't really work all that great. Like you'll see some that say that they'll tell you information for wheels locking. That sounds brilliant in theory. It doesn't really work, and it's partly because of the data that's restricted coming from iRacing. Some information coming from iRacing is restricted purely for, I think, competition and fairness, because I think if you knew your wheels were locking up, you could use software to control like your brake balance, brake pressure, and people can set up apps that basically allow them to generate like motor racing ABS where they just stomp on the brakes, and if there's any lockups they have an app that would fix that and change the brake pressure accordingly. There's a lot of stuff like that with online racing, and so that's why iRacing limits some data. But I have these channels because if I had them all enabled, there'd be a saturation. You can see that they all operate on similar frequencies. Engine vibration is kind of the best RPM engine vibration channel I found. It's not too annoying, but if you have it more than 10%, it could be annoying. It just kind of changes its tune a little bit that you feel with RPM as your engine speed increases. Gear shift is really good, just helps really you feel that you're shifting gears. All these things help with just immersion in the sense of believing that the simulation is real, more real, and I think that helps you to concentrate easier rather than really consciously having to focus on the screen while you're driving to make sure you do everything just right. Having these extra tactile things just helps you kind of, you know, believe in the Alice in Wonderland world that you're playing in. 50% is really good for gear shift. Road rumble is really the best channel, and that's obviously so that we get positive reinforcement of hitting curbs. When we get on the grass, we can feel it, so we have a really good sense of where our tires are on the track all the time. And road impacts is kind of those little bumps on straightaways. We don't really want that too high because there are a lot of bumps everywhere and that would get annoying. So 40% is usually good for that one. And you've got your master volume here. 65, 75 is really good for most. I forget why mine is a little bit low right now. You could have it at 100 and it would be, very invasive. Uh, and you might like that, and that's cool. If you live in an apartment complex or you have neighbors beneath you, I don't recommend it at 100 though. And that's really it. So now when you load iRacing, your vibration will work again. When you're finished with this program, just make sure you minimize it. Don't close it. If you close it, you won't get any vibration anymore. And that's it.